today I show you what you can do in your garden in just half an hour during your lunch break. I work from home full-time and I have a small garden, and I always wanted to do some gardening and growing my own vegetables, but I thought to myself that I just don't have enough time, and so I'd never started. But then COVID happened, and during that time there was a lot of food shortages around, and so I started to grow my own vegetables in my garden. I was not very successful to start with because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm still learning, but I figured that actually during your lunch break you can do an awful lot in your garden, especially if your garden is at your doorstep, literally in the backyard. So I thought that maybe I could share that with you, and so today I'll show you what you can do in just half an hour in your garden. My job for today is to pick winter squash. It is 4th of October and it's a gorgeous day, so I thought that's a perfect time to pick them, especially that it's going to rain for the next 6 or 7 days, so I don't want them to go soggy and sort of rot. I want to pick them just now so that I can store them for the winter. So stay till the end because I'll show you what varieties I have and what I have collected, if you are interested in knowing what to grow next year. Some of them have produced a lot of fruit, so I'm super excited about that. But I will speed through the boring bits of me picking them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do that now so that you don't miss future videos on what you can do in just half an hour at your lunch break. For now, let's get it done. So, with me I have 3 varieties of winter squash, and I brought this piece of slate to show you. I was growing these in a long grass, so I didn't want them to rot while they were growing, so I used these. I just had some odd pieces of slate lying around, so I propped all of these fruit onto these pieces of slate so that the water can sort of nicely run off, and they're not sitting in a boggy, soggy grass. Now, I grow vegetables on clay, so there is so much clay in here, it's impenetrable, and the water just sits. I end up with puddles of water everywhere in here, so I was really worried about them just rotting before they mature. So that's an idea, but you can use anything that is, you can use pieces of plastic or you know, some bricks or whatever you have available that helps the fruit to stay dry. We had a very wet summer and spring and summer, So I am really quite pleased with this result. So that's the piece of slate, and I have 3 varieties in here. This one is a really nice one, very pretty fruit. Okay, I know I need to wipe them, and this is called baked potato. Okay, so I have 3 pieces of that. So not a huge result, and the actual plants are just behind me. They did take a long time to get going. Then they did produce a lot of flowers, but maybe the bees didn't do the job very well. I do have a problem with bees here, so I'm going to try and do everything I can next year to encourage them to settle in and make them very comfortable. So I have 3 pieces of baked potato. When picking squashes of any kind, you want them to cure. So obviously you want to leave them on the plants as long as possible, but if the stalk is starting to go brown, it means that the plant is no longer feeding the fruit, so it's time to pick it. Or if you have a forecast of incredibly bad weather, then it's time to pick them too. So hence I'm picking these a little early. And also what you need to do is leave the stalk as long as you can. So cut it as long as you can see in terms of the cutting it off the vine, because that means that the fruit will store for longer. So the plan for all of these is to bring them indoors, wipe them from all this mud, and then leave them in a sunny location. I have a nice sunny windowsill for a couple of weeks to cure. And what that will do is it will make the skin go hard, which means that these should survive throughout the winter for months. So it's a perfect way of preserving them. You don't have to have room in the freezer or anything. I am planning to put them, or you don't have to pickle them. So I am planning to put them in the garage. I have made some room in the garage for nice dry spot, and then I'll lay them sort of making sure that the fruit doesn't touch each other. I'll show you that later if you want to see that. So do subscribe if you haven't done that already, so that you can see what's in my garage later in the year. So baked potatoes, that one. This one is called honey boat. I know it's sort of a long bunny honey boat shape, I suppose. I only have 2 pieces of fruit. Again, this one's not really mature, so I will need to cook this one soon. But this one I may be able to store for a few weeks, but I mean the skin is hard, so it may be okay, but I think I'll probably eat these first. And then the 3rd variety that I will very much recommend you grow next year is called Buffy Ball. These are absolutely gorgeous. They are this sort of quite a large ball shape and size. Okay, you can see in my hand, they fit in my hand. So that's probably enough for 1 person's meal. So you probably would want to have 2 maybe for a dinner. But look how many, there's 4 plants behind me, and they produced, I counted these earlier, they produced about 36 pieces of fruit. I have some indoors as well. So there is, they are absolutely gorgeous, and I think they will store very well in the garage. So I need to cure them, wipe them from the mud and cure them. The skin is actually quite hard already. So as I said, it's 4th of October. This is their size and shape. There are some smaller ones, and I will probably use the smaller ones first, or just leave them as a decoration, because they're actually really quite cute. Look, it's in comparison to the size of this one. Look, it's a tiny one. I don't, it's not going to be much food on that. But so these smaller ones, I think maybe they'll act as winter decorations in my house. But most of them are good size. I mean, that's a good size. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, I am very, very pleased about this. So this is what you can do in just half an hour in your garden, is go out there and pick some of your produce so that you can store it for the winter. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, like this video. It would really help me out. And for now, take care.